I lost my wife, my son, my home, all because of one lie. But what they didn't know was that I never actually lost. People think revenge is loud, explosive, dramatic. Mine was silent, so silent, in fact, that by the time they realized what was happening, it was already too late. My name is Ryan Mitchell, and this is the story of the day my life collapsed and the moment I decided to take control. It started like any normal Tuesday. The alarm buzzed at 6:30 a.m. Claire was already awake, scrolling through her phone beside me. The soft glow of the screen lit half her face. She didn't smile when she noticed I was up. She barely even looked at me. That should have been my first clue, but when you've been married for 8 years, you learn to ignore small things. Silence becomes routine, distance becomes normal. Morning, I mumbled. Morning, she replied, flat, eyes still on the screen. Downstairs, Noah was building something on the kitchen floor. Plastic dinosaurs surrounded him like tiny guardians of imagination. Dad, look, T Rex versus robot shark. I laughed. That's not even a fair fight, buddy. Claire didn't laugh. She grabbed her coffee, kissed Noah on the head, then turned to me. We need to talk tonight. I four words, four harmless, everyday words, the kind that secretly carry earthquakes inside them. Work that day was chaos. Emails, deadlines, a meeting that should have been an email, but none of it mattered. Those four words echoed in my skull like a ticking clock. We need to talk. By the time I got home, my stomach felt like it was filled with wet cement. Claire was waiting, not in the kitchen, not on the couch, standing, arms crossed like a stranger rehearsing a confrontation. Noah's at my sister's, she said. Something cold slid down my spine. What's going on? She didn't hesitate. I know about Olivia. I blinked. Who? Her eyes hardened. Don't do that, Ryan. Don't insult me. My brain scrambled. Names, faces, memories, nothing. I don't know any Olivia. Claire let out a bitter laugh. Oh my God, you're still lying? Then came the words that shattered everything. I saw the messages. What messages? The ones between you and her. There is no her, but once doubt enters a room, truth becomes irrelevant. The next week felt like a nightmare played on repeat. Claire moved into the guest room, then she moved out. Then came the lawyer, adultery, emotional betrayal, hidden relationship, words I had never imagined being associated with my name. Friends stopped calling, colleagues started whispering. Even Noah looked confused when he stayed over. Mom says you hurt her. That one almost broke me. Almost. Here's the part no one tells you about losing everything. At first, you're devastated, then you're angry, and finally, you become curious because deep down beneath the pain, a question starts to form. Why? Why would Claire believe something so absurd? Why would she never show me the evidence? Okay. Why did everything move so perfectly? So, too perfectly. I didn't fight. That surprised everyone. No dramatic arguments, no public breakdown, no desperate pleas. I signed papers. I nodded politely. I played the role of the defeated man. Because while everyone thought I was drowning, I was watching, listening, collecting. The truth revealed itself on a rainy Thursday night. I had stopped by the old neighborhood to pick up the last of my mail. Most of it was junk, bills, flyers, a life reduced to envelopes. That's when I saw Brandon, my friendly, always smiling neighbor, standing on Claire's porch, laughing, comfortable, too comfortable. And Claire was laughing too. Not the polite laugh she gave me in our final months, but the real one, warm, effortless, alive. Something clicked hard. You see, Brandon had always been there, borrowing tools, chatting over fences, helping Claire carry groceries when I worked late. The nice guy next door, the invisible background character until he wasn't. I didn't confront them. Confrontation is for emotion. I wanted clarity. So I did what a broken, desperate man supposedly wouldn't do. I hired a private investigator, and within 2 weeks, the illusion cracked. There was no Olivia, no affair, no mysterious woman. There was only a fabricated chat history, edited screenshots, messages sent from a burner number saved under our fake name, all traced back to one source, Brandon Turner. But here's the twist: Brandon didn't do it alone. Claire knew, Claire planned it. Claire needed a villain so she wouldn't have to admit the truth. She was already in love with him. That night, I didn't scream, I didn't cry. I sat in my empty apartment staring at the evidence spread across my table like puzzle pieces of betrayal, and I smiled because pain had finally transformed into something far more useful. Precision. Revenge isn't rage, revenge is patience with a strategy. I waited 3 months, 3 long, quiet months, long enough for Claire and Brandon to move in together, long enough for them to feel safe, long enough for them to believe they had won. Then I sent one envelope to Claire's lawyer containing everything: forensic analysis, investigator reports, metadata logs, proof, undeniable proof. The legal aftermath was swift. Case reopened, settlement challenged, reputation restored. Claire's credibility destroyed, but my revenge, that wasn't the court, that wasn't the documents, that was Noah. Because when the truth came out, there was only one thing I asked for: full custody. Not out of spite, but because lies should never raise a child. Today, people ask me if I hate Claire, if I regret not fighting harder in the beginning, if revenge made me feel better. No, revenge didn't make me feel better. Revenge made me feel free, because the day my life collapsed was the day I stopped being a victim in someone else's story and became the author of my own. Sometimes losing everything isn't a tragedy, sometimes it's the setup.